Hey everyone, this is our first video for our first lesson in geometry, and it will be on constructing an equilateral triangle. This is the first page of your packet. I am going to scroll down here to the bottom. Y'all look at the bottom of your packet for me, of your first page, and we have some blanks that we need to fill in with some vocab words. Now, just to let you know how things work, I am not going to write all these words in. I need you to listen to what I'm telling you, and I'm going to highlight the blank after I cover it. So if you don't know what goes in there after I highlight it, then you need to rewind the video and watch it again, okay? And as always, if y'all have questions, just let us know. So let's do this. The first word, it says the blank between points A and B is the set consisting of points A and B, and all of the points on the line, AB, that are between A and B. So let's first look at this, the idea of line, right? What does the line look like? Well, it looks like this. And it has at least 2 points on it. We're going to call them A and B. This is a B. So the word we're looking for is between A and B. So we have to consider points A and B and all of those points in between. So what is this thing called? Hopefully y'all are thinking segment. It's a segment or a line segment, okay, called AB. All right, part B, a segment from the center of a circle to a point on the circle. I'm hoping we all remember what that is. So we've got a circle, okay, from the center of the circle out to some point on the circle. What is this segment called? From the center out to some point. From the center out to some point. What are each of those segments called? Hopefully we're thinking radius. Okay, so I'm going to label them all with a little r. Okay, they're all radius. They're all the same length because they all went from the center of that circle out to the edge of the circle. So part C says given a point C in the plane and some number that's greater than 0, the blank with center C and radius R. So we're the only shape that has a center and a radius, right? We should be thinking circle, correct? It's a set of all points in the plane that are equidistant from that center point. Okay, let's move on. So this is the back of page 1. We're skipping over that for right now. You don't have this page. We are at the top of S4. If you look at the bottom, it says S4. We're at the top of that page. Geometry assumptions. Assumptions are things we assume are true. Okay. One of the things we assume true is that given any two distinct points, there is exactly one line that will contain them. So here is a point A and another point B. There's only one line I can draw that will pass through A and B. Okay, we agree? Only one, there's not another one. Another assumption we make is that every plane contains at least 3 non-collinear points, and we're going to use those 3 non-collinear points to name the plane, but we'll get to that in a sec. This second paragraph, the only important thing here we wanted to make sure y'all knew was that the distance from A to B and the distance from B to A, they're the same thing, okay? So here's a segment, AB, and maybe it's 5, it has a length of 5. The distance from A to B is 5. but the distance backwards from B to A is also 5. Okay? And then you don't need this paragraph right here. We can get rid of all of that. All right, let's move on down to the bottom of this page. A geometric construction. Basically, we are recreating figures without any measurement. Y'all write that down for me. Pause it if you need to. We're recreating figures without any measurement. All right, our next word, figure. A two-dimensional figure is a set of points in the plane. Traditionally, we think of figures as shapes: triangle, square, rectangle, trapezoid. But it could be something as simple as a point, line, plane, ray, angle, segment, those types of things. An equilateral triangle, triangle with all sides equal length. So here's a triangle. Call it A, B, C. And we show that all the sides have the same length by putting these marks on each side, showing that they're all congruent. They're all the same measure. Collinear, we talked about collinear earlier. Collinear is if the points are all on the same line. So here's a line, and it contains these 3 points. We'll call them A, B, and C. This is a C. Now, these points are not collinear. Okay? A, this is an A, B, and C. These points are not collinear because you can't draw a line through all 3 of them at the same time. All right, moving on. The back of page 4, it should say S5 at the bottom. Again, length of segment. We've covered this a couple times, guys, because it's so important. Length of a segment, we're going to use just the name of the segment without the symbol. Okay? Just the name of the segment without the symbol. And remember, write this down. Length is equal to distance. Okay? When I ask for one, it doesn't matter which one you think of, length or distance. Here's some examples, right? In this top section, all I really want y'all to make sure we know is this right here. And it doesn't say it out for you right here. This is called the segment addition postulate. Write it down. Segment addition postulate. So I'm going to draw it for you over here. If I had a segment from A to B and another segment from B to C, didn't I just make one really large segment, right, called AC? So like if A to B was 5 units, and from B to C it's 7 units, that means that the whole thing from A to C would be 12, right? We add up those 2 smaller pieces. All right, this next section talks about symbols, okay? And the symbols are oh so important. So array looks like this. Rays have a start point and they continue forever in one direction, okay? And by the way, I'm going to number these 1, 2, and 3, just the first 3, okay? Because we're going to draw some examples at the bottom. Let me move this up. So array. This is going to be number 1. So A to B. Okay, this ray starts at A and it goes through B. This is called ray A, B. Okay, if I drew it like this, where B was the start point, I'd have to change my name to BA. So the first letter is where the ray starts. Okay, don't forget your symbol. It goes on forever in one direction, so it only has one little arrowhead. Number 2 talks about a line, and we've seen this symbol already. The lines go on forever in two directions, so it has two arrows. Now I'm going to draw a line that's got a bunch of points. Well, not a bunch, 3. B and C, okay? I could name this line AB with my symbol, or I could name it BA. Okay, I could name it BC, or CB, CA, AC. Okay, there's a whole bunch of names I could give the line. Sometimes, if there was a little script letter at the end of my line, a lowercase script letter, I could call it line L. Okay, I could name it with that little script letter. All right, the next little bullet up here is a segment, and we've seen this already today. The segment stops. It has a start point and a stop point, so it has no arrows on its symbol. Okay, and again, it doesn't matter which way you name your segment. So A, B, you could call it segment AB or BA. Okay, doesn't matter at all. So the last thing I want to talk about are planes. P, this is a P. Okay, usually the plane looks like, when we draw it, it looks like a quadrilateral, specifically a parallelogram. Okay, and remember we said up top that a plane contains 3 non-collinear points. So point, 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 those are non-collinear. A, B, and C. So I could, when I name the plane, there isn't a symbol for a plane. You just have to write it out. So I could name it plane ABC or CBA. Okay, doesn't matter. Or sometimes you're going to see a capital script letter. Okay, this is supposed to be my script T. Okay, if you see a capital script letter, it is not a point. There will not be a dot with it. We could name the plane with that letter. So I could also call it plane T. So 3 non-collinear points in any order, it does not matter. Okay, you cannot use 3 collinear points because it could be more than one plane. And if you have a question about that, y'all let us know. All right, guys, let us know if you have questions.